next tonight, a Derbyshire jail's been named as the country's most violent women's prison. Inspectors say assaults and self-harm at Foston Hall are a major concern. Well, the prison service is now setting up a new safety team at the jail. Our social affairs correspondent Jeremy Ball can tell us more. Jeremy, this isn't the first time that inspectors have had concerns, is it?
It's not only. They'd actually gone back to see if the jail was tackling problems that they found last year. High levels of violence, they said, and no strategy to deal with that. Now, what the inspectors found last month was that violence actually getting worse and no credible action plan, they said, to deal with that. Now, Foston Hall currently has around 300 inmates. Some of these women are on very long sentences, but there are also young offenders, there are suspects on remand, and the inspectors say a lot of the trouble is down to dire staffing levels. That leaves inmates stuck in their cells. The frustration then causes fights and squabbles, they say, and sometimes nasty assaults.
We're seeing levels of violence that we just don't normally see in the women's estate. Women's prisons tend to be more peaceable places than men's prisons. And what we're seeing is this is the most violent women's prison in England and Wales at the moment, particularly assaults between women, where intimidation, bullying and violence has become fairly endemic within the jail.
So who's being targeted in these assaults, Jeremy?
Sometimes it's fellow inmates. More often than not, though, it's prison officers who say they're getting punched and they're getting spat at. And we can show you the latest figures for violence at Foston Hall. In the first 3 months of this year, there were 38 assaults on prison staff and another 16 incidents where inmates assaulted each other. There were also 457 incidents of self-harm, and the inspectors say that's often women who are worried about being bullied or attacked, and that's a real concern for the prison officers too.
That has a massive effect on not just the mental health and the well-being of our staff, but also the trauma that they see. The high levels of trauma and obviously some of the injuries that they see can be life-changing for themselves, and they need that support there, and they haven't actually got that support.
So what's being done to put it all right then?
Well, we had a statement today from the prison service which says it's putting in more senior staff, it's set up a safety team at Foston Hall and actually making more specific plans too for the most violent inmates there. But the criminal justice charity NACRO says that there needs to be a lot more action on this, and it particularly wants to see help for women who've been abused or inmates with mental health problems.